Welcome everyone to the Preserve Championships, part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We're out in Clearwater, Minnesota. This tournament is sponsored by Prodigy Disc. We're at a beautiful piece of property. I'm Sarah Hokom here with Juliana Korver to call the action.
We're going to be watching Kristin Tattar, Sarah Hokom, Lydia Lyons, and Hailey King today. Kristin has a 4-stroke lead going into the second round in her last DGPT event for the season.
Kristin shot really well yesterday, leading out in front against me and Lydia at -3, Hailey at -2. Then we still have some of our top players in that second card, Paige Pierce being one of those.
Hole 1, 615 feet, par 4. This hole is defined on the left by water. Staying out to the right is safer, but that makes the second shot over this little spit of water a little bit more dangerous. Everybody should be able to reach this, but the wind was swirling.
We are sending off lead card FPO. Welcome up to the tee first from Pärnu, Estonia, Kristin Tattar.
Kristin up first with a grace.
Looks like she slipped a little bit on that tee.
Yeah, agreed. It definitely came out low.
She has so much power. I'm sure that short drive is not going to be an impediment for her to get to the pin on 2.
I'm throwing a trace.
Nicely done.
Next up from Normal, Illinois, please welcome Lydia Lyons.
Lydia is only 18 years old. She's got a bright future ahead of her, playing for Prodigy, throwing a D2.
Lydia is still classified as an amateur.
Turns it over a little bit, but thankfully sneaks through that tree and has an open look to the basket.
West Bend, Wisconsin, please give it up for Hailey King.
Hailey's had a great season so far, starting it out with the Texas State Championships and a win there. That was her Zeus.
Nice safe play.
Have a great round. Thank you.
Going to the trace again.
Very nice. This played as the 10th most difficult hole today.
Lydia with an H2V2.
A little low.
Yeah, definitely. But she gets a skip out of that ditch. She was very relieved that that stayed in bounds. Hailey with a zone, pushes it a little right. And she has a difficult look from that tree. Kristin playing the harp, looking for a big fade, and it gets a nice roll. Lydia's birdie putt. Little downslope on her footing. Edge of the circle putt to start the round. Definitely one of the more difficult skills to execute.
And the wind is pretty strong. Gets you in your head a little bit.
Hailey off the band.
Noticed when you were lining that up, the flag wasn't moving at all. And then as you started throwing, the flag started.
Yeah, I was trying to like speed up my routine real quick because I noticed that there was no wind. But apparently that didn't serve me very well. Lydia cleaning up the par. And Kristin with the lone birdie.
Hole 2, 280 feet, par 3. This little hole features a double mandatory right off the tee. A righty backhand shot has a nice right side gap that can get through the trees on a straight line with a little fade at the end, or perhaps even a little bit of a flex shot that comes back.
Kristin going putter, the Opto Pure. Yeah, we had a kind of a crazy wind. It was swirling, but kind of a headwind, but also a crosswind at the same time. And it was changing by the minute. I'm throwing a relay. Looking for it to flip, but it does not. But outside the circle, look for birdie. Lydia with an M1.
Get by that.
Yes, she does, just inside the circle. Hailey going with her zone. Puts it up high.
She went high on this last time too. I wonder if that's by design to try to get the distance correct.
Maybe. Gives it a bid. Leaves herself in a long comebacker. Not long, but, you know, it's not parked. Kristin from outside circle 2 gives it a safe run. So yesterday, Hailey had 15 putts from C1X out of 18 holes. That's a lot on a course like this.
Yes, it is.
Lydia cashing in with the birdie.
There's the birdie. This played as the second easiest hole today.
It's one of those C1X putts that Hailey made all day yesterday, saving par. By comparison, like Kristin only had 5 C1 putts. I only had 4 C1 putts. Lydia only had 5, right? And Hailey had 15 of them. But she's still 73% at that distance. So I mean, she really handled it very well. But I think her aggressive C2 putting is maybe why she had so many putts from that distance yesterday.
This is hole 3. It is 324 feet. It's a par 3. The drone cam is brought to us by Swarm Digital Marketing. Swarm designs and develops websites. If you are a business owner that needs a website, click the link below.
Lydia up first with that H2 V2.
A little low, I believe, but oh, it's close to the circle, if not in.
Yeah, I think it's just outside the circle. Kristin, debating on the disc, throws the verdict here. And she doesn't like it. The
Little
wind,
left, yeah.
the wind keeps shifting.
There is OB if you happen to find yourself on the left side of that path right there.
I was also heavily debating disc choice, went with the trace, and expected it to flip up with that headwind, but it was non-existent at the time that I
So you
ended
can
up
see
throwing. Oh, there it is. It's back, of course. Good timing. Hailey going stalker, I believe. And puts it
There we
really
go.
close.
I'm a little surprised this played as the third easiest hole for the day. This basket being raised and in the area that it is could be a little bit tricky with the wind swirling.
Good amount of birdies, 30% birdies. Even though you're not seeing one yet on this card, but only 10% bogey.
There's
so
a birdie.
The difficulty level isn't there for this one to cause the huge score separation. So 3 pars, and then Hailey gets her first birdie of the round. So Kristin got the birdie on 1, Lydia the birdie on 2, and Hailey got the birdie on 3. Does that mean I'm going to get one on 4?
Maybe. Hole 4, 675 feet, par 4. It looks like you need to turn your drive from left to right quite a bit off the tee, but that isn't required as a straighter shot may actually give you a better line to the gap that we are about to see right here. Once you get through the gap, you have to go straight for another 80 to 100 feet. The basket is just down below this ridge.
And we mostly had a headwind on this hole. Hailey going stalker again. Little tight on that right side. I think she meant to throw it wider and maybe even higher. Lydia going X3. A similar line as Hailey, but wider. It fades out, and she's looking pretty even with the big gap.
I like where she just landed right there. It gives you a nice line to that opening.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit longer to get to the pin, but you can actually think about a shot that could possibly, create that line versus some of these other, when you're pinched on that right or short, that line becomes much more technical. I'm throwing a trace. Again, we had a bit of an odd wind. It felt like a headwind, but it would switch to a crosswind.
Oh, that's a decent.
Yeah, I mean, that's about all I could ask for. So Lydia looking just straight at the gap, although that tree is right in the center of the line she may want to take. Oh, did she hit it?
I don't.
Oh.
She hit that one.
And that tree is in my line. I'm just trying to throw a hyzer to avoid it. And I kind of get lucky through the gap and on the front side. Hailey with a raptor pushes it left. Ends up in a pretty tough spot on the left side of that gap.
like Kristin's line. Oh, she pulled it too far right.
Lydia making a recovery with her M1. But leaves it deep and outside the circle, so that'll be a tough putt coming back. She has yet to make a circle 2 putt in the tournament. Kristin with her heart puts it inside the circle. And Hailey with the graceful layout.
Oh, wow. Like the effort on that one. Very well done.
Puts her zone right by the pin. This is an envy and a touchy little hyzer line.
Nice.
And this is Lydia for par. Just kind of airs it out. She was one of 2 birdies on this hole yesterday. Her and Katrina both got it yesterday.
It's almost hard to imagine birding this hole.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be certainly well lined up off the tee.
Oh, no.
Oh, Kristin with a splash out. I putt for par.
This played as the 7th most difficult hole for the day. I almost would have expected it to be more difficult, but the gap is not as densely, the foliage isn't as dense as some of the other gaps that we have to go through.
Lydia pulling out the eraser on the scorecard, losing 2 strokes to her 1 birdie on this hole. Kristin also with a bogey. Hailey and I carding the pars.
Hole 5, 695 feet, par 4. Players will be trying to clear the gap. A good shot will make it through this line of trees and end up by this little bush on the left. But even a shot there may choose to lay up to the second gap because the second gap is pretty demanding and the line is hard to reach and hard to see from where we land for our first shot. Again, this is a par 4, but this is a very hard par 4. I consider this a par 5 myself.
Yes, we were discussing that as well. I also think it's a par 5. We only saw 2 pars yesterday. And it was Leah Sinagini and somebody else got it. Perfect.
Very nice shot.
That was Leah and Maria Oliva got this one yesterday. And again, we have kind of swirly winds. I'm throwing a matrix. The goal here is to keep it in the middle. Kristin with a St. Pro, looking to get some distance off the tee.
Looks like she kicked. Oh, I think she kicked in and then kicked out again.
Yeah, I think she's in maybe just barely in, like a foot or 2. Lydia going F3.
Oh, that's such a nice line.
Needs to kick
Come
out.
on.
And it does, right to the middle. Throwing a relay, there's a bit of a headwind. Trying to get to that gap.
So hard to tell from back here.
I thought I hit it really well, but I was just a bit short. Just a little pinched on the right side. Kristin pitching out to the center, doesn't quite get there. But she's far enough from the gap that she may have a chance to work a line. Lydia's going PA3. And just kind of holds on to it a bit. Little late release.
It's always frustrating when the conservative shot gets you in trouble.
Hailey throwing a buzz. She's trying to penetrate the gap. That is such a risky play, I think. But maybe the gap is just so hard to hit to begin with that it, just getting into it is even favorable.
Yeah, I've seen it work in players' favor and against them. So I have not yet chosen to be that aggressive on this hole.
Kristin hitting a tree about a third of the way up that gap. I'm throwing another relay into a bit of a wind. I thought I hit the line and it hit a tree and kicked me left into the garbage. Lydia throwing her PA1. And Hailey's stuck in that smooth sumac is what it, on my little plant app, it said it was smooth sumac, which apparently can be toxic when ingested. But I don't think it's the same as the poison sumac that can be really dangerous on your skin. Throwing an envy through a little gap.
Ooh.
And Lydia for par.
Really nice putt.
Oh, bogey. Great save. And Hailey for par. And this is for the 5, the single bogey.
Which feels like a par on this hole.
Yeah, I'm really not upset at all. This hole is also 9-able, so getting a 5 is really good. 4 is exceptional, which Paige Pierce and Molly Mayhofer both got the 4 today.
In this game, preparation is everything. It gives you that edge to become something from nothing. Success is not by accident. Because the course plays no favorites. You know what it takes to be the best. In this game, detail matters. Idio Sports.
Hole 6, 390 feet, par 3. Either straight, hyzer, flex, a lot of options on this hole. The rough tends to reach out and grab a lot of the discs that skirt the edges. The distance seems just a little bit out of reach for many in this division.
But not Hailey. She's throwing a Zeus here, trying to get there.
Oh, the wind just played with that.
But she kind of sneaks through.
Wow.
She's got a C2 look. Which she did have a C2 make yesterday. I'm throwing a trace after debating on like 4 different discs. Kristin with a grace.
Nice skip. Kind of looked like that got knocked down too.
Yeah, she's out there about 40 feet, but pin high. And she did not get this one yesterday. Lydia also with a H2, oh, this is her D2, excuse me. Gets a nice look just at the edge of the circle. Yeah, the wind was very, very difficult to read today.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Hailey chains out left from 45. And Kristin just outside circle 1.
Great putt.
She had a couple C2 makes yesterday as well.
Such a pure line. Such a pretty shot.
Literally a pure. And Lydia to match Kristin's birdie with a PA3.
Oh, nice. I thought that was going to be a little on the right side.
It's a great confidence booster. She's missed a couple of putts so far this round already. And Hailey tapping in the par. Shout out to Maria Oliva and Katrina Allen for also getting that birdie on the day.
Hole 7, 960 feet, par 5. This picturesque hole has water bordering on the left side for at least the first shot. Woods on the right, though the fairway is incredibly generous. The second shot, one might try to decide whether they're going to go around the tree on the right or the left. For their next shot, they might want to put themselves in a position to better do so. The right side of that tree is a shorter line, but the left side may give you a little bit better angle to come into the basket.
Kristin up first, throwing a grace. She was worried that this was going to skip into the water. And then she ran into the sign. As she's watching it, hoping that it stays dry. I don't know. I guess we've probably all done that.
Many times.
Lydia throws it a little low.
Straight into the ground.
Hailey with a Zeus. Her caddy Brian Earhart loves it. Always a good supporter of her. I'm throwing my signature trace once again.
Very nice line.
And again. Had a tailwind there, and I really just did not make the adjustment. I was so much less concerned about the wind because it was a tailwind, but then didn't make the adjustment.
It was a significant tailwind.
Lydia going back to the D2.
in a nice position to take that left route.
Hailey with another Zeus. You can see it just kind of dropped, and she's kind of behind that tree now. It'll be a difficult lie. Kristin also going back to the Grace. It's got enough glide to kind of push through the tailwind, but also kind of leaves her behind that huge tree. This is a Photon looking for a left to right fade.
Oh, no.
And I threw a really bad shot.
I did not deserve that.
Lydia with an F2.
The wind was so strong, it was hard to turn something over with that tailwind.
And she's in deep there. That is trouble. So Hailey's got a very difficult shot here.
Oh, she used all the height that she had there.
And she shaped it really well, but is deep left of the pin. And Kristin has just
Oh, I can't even tell where she's trying
tiny little
to.
gap.
Oh, my goodness.
And gives herself a putt for birdie. Significant tailwind.
Oh, that was far.
I did not like how far that went. I'm trying to park this basket. So Lydia's from way down on that left side with a lot of stuff in her way, but she pitches it out for a putt. And Hailey is also kind of way into this.
Oh, this is kind of a scary basket as well because of the steep angle of the terrain. It's very possible for rollaways.
Kristin for birdie. So we missed a shot there. Hailey actually threw. She ended up with a par because she threw from deeper in there and didn't get very far, and then had to putt again.
I see.
And Lydia,
Oh,
that was her par putt. That was such a good putt. That basket completely spit her.
I think that disc became a sail and the wind pushed it out.
Yeah, very likely. It was very difficult putt in that wind on the side hill. So I'm also walking away with bogey.
Hole 8, 297 feet, par 3. The water carry shouldn't be an issue. This plays just a little further than the distance implies, but I would expect the entire card to have a birdie opportunity.
Kristin up first with a Grace, utilizing her really great sidearm. But the wind kind of drops it.
Whoa.
And she just barely gets through over the water. And we all wished we knew what she was saying. Hailey gets a nice shot up there. Easy tap in. You can see those flags are just ripping. H2V2 in her hand. Puts a nice move on it.
That looks good.
We thought this was going to skip in. But I guess it's tough to skip on the chips like that.
Yeah.
This is a Cosmic Trace.
Excellent.
Little forward roll.
Okay, that's better. You know, like
So Kristin with some weird footing from,
A long way back.
yeah, like circle 2.
Oh my gosh.
Makes it.
So much power on that straddle putt. That's amazing.
She had a couple makes yesterday, and this is her first C2 make of the day. Well, second C2, actually. So she just made one 2 holes ago. So now she is, yeah, wow.
Oh, that's perfect spot.
That reminded me of her eagle putt at Deglow. Like just a weird lie, uphill, from really far away. And Lydia for birdie. And we're going to get a star frame here. With 1 hole left to play in this front 9.
This is hole 9. It is 1,220 feet. It is a par 5. There's very little in the way on this lengthy fairway. There's 1 large tree to contend with on the first shot. The second is completely free of obstacles. And if you throw far enough, you may need to determine if you want to try to clear this tiny little creek or stay to the right. The creek is in bounds. You can just see it, the little tall grass right here. There is a line identifying where the out of bounds is on the outside of the tall grass. The basket is on a little bit of a mound. Many people will be clearing the creek and approaching the basket from the left side, and others will stay to the right of the creek and approach it from the right side.
Kristin starting us off with a grace after going birdie birdie.
Great shot.
You can see we still have a bit of a haze in the air. The air quality was, I think he called it the AQI or something like that.
Yes, air quality index.
Yeah, it was at like 150, where the hazardous range, or where it gets very unhealthy, is about 200. And then on average, I think in normal conditions, it's about 40. So we're 3 times kind of the normal air quality. Lydia with a D2.
Pulls it a little bit to the right.
Ah, it's trouble over there. It's pretty thick. And I've got a bunch of disc in my hand. I'm trying to figure out what the wind is doing. It feels kind of like we're in a very, very slow tornado. And I go with my medium stability vanish. Probably should have picked a different disc, but it's out there. So Lydia, a patent pending standstill, gets a lot of distance on it.
Boy, she sure does.
But now she's kind of over on that left side.
Yeah,
But
distance is not exactly in the right direction.
yeah, but not too far in. She should still have a pretty good run up.
It's a nice looking shot.
That is another vanish, looking for max distance. And Hailey with a Zeus. That wind just drops it. Does not get a full flight. And Kristin with another grace. Lydia with another good shot out. Now she's in the open. It's got a long way to the pin, though. Hailey choosing to get over to that left side that you mentioned in the whole description. Just kind of makes it just makes it into an easier shot on that particular shot, instead of having to throw a flex that's going to land on the right side.
Exactly.
Unless you're a sidearm thrower. And then the right side is much safer.
Good position.
Kristin with another grace.
Looks like there was a good-sized gallery following the card.
Yeah, once the men's card finished, we got a lot of people about hole 8. Lydia with a H2V2 coming in nice.
Oh, beautiful shot.
And she will have a very short par putt. Hailey with a zone leaves it out left a bit. And that'll be a long putt for birdie, or par, excuse me. I'm throwing a photon. And I kind of leave it out right. Skip into the bunker that is not out of bounds, but the footing there is not good. It's the sand in all of these bunkers is very deep. Kristin pitching up with a harp. Leaves a little bit of a putt, but she has been really good inside the circle. Only missed one putt inside the circle today. Hailey from C2.
A little bit low.
I'm just outside the circle, but in the deep sand. I'm thinking that when you like sink in the sand, it may make the adjustment nose up. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it could do all kinds of things. It could throw your timing off. You feel like you're losing power with your feet, so maybe you push harder with your hands. Lots of things can go wrong there.
Yeah, it also really comes into play on the final hole of this course. Lydia really tapping out a great par. Also, Kristin getting the par, Hailey and I with the bogey to finish that front 9.
Kristin staying well above the pack at 9 under. Hailey and Lydia 2 under, and Sarah's 1 under.
Yeah, a lot of golf left to play. We have 9 more holes in this round, and they're kind of talking about how we might not have a third round because of the air quality. So this is, players are thinking, this is all, I got to put it all out there. This is maybe the last round. And it's tight for that second place position. Both Paige and Jessica pushing up above me, and Lydia hanging on also. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. And we will see you on the back 9. Give this video a like and subscribe to GK Pro.